what did you make of the substitution? Because I was going to say, were you surprised? But we can't really be surprised. It was expected almost that Kepa would come on if it did go to a shootout. He had great success when he was subbed on in the Super Cup. When was it? In August against Villarreal. Didn't go to plan this time around. Was it a mistake?
I think it's very easy, obviously, isn't it, in hindsight, to say Tuchel made a blunder there, and you have to put it in the context. If he'd done it previously, it had worked previously. I must admit, sat there on Sunday afternoon and turned into our Chelsea guy, and said I just thought it was odd because I thought Mendy was having such a good game. I just think psychologically it probably helped Liverpool more than it helped Chelsea, because I think Mendy had been imperious. And I just think if you're a Liverpool player stepping up to take a penalty against Mendy when he's just performed like that, pulled off one of the greatest saves I've ever seen, that one from Sadio Mane in the first half. He had no right to keep that out. I just think that's in your head as a Liverpool player. You're thinking, I have to hit this harder. I have to be even more precise with this penalty because Mendy's having the game of his life here. And I just think it probably helped Liverpool. I think that late switch to Kepa. And I thought also Liverpool handled very well Kepa's attempt of gamesmanship to try and put them off. It was quite clever the way that Kelleher would roll the ball to the next Liverpool penalty taker just to ensure that Kepa couldn't intervene. And so yeah, it was all about who handled the pressure best, didn't it? When legs and minds were so tired, and when it mattered most, it was Liverpool.
Yeah, there was obviously many pros and cons about bringing Kepa on. His track record against opponents in a penalty shootout is far superior to Mendy, but Mendy's form in that game was phenomenal. Mendy himself coming off the back of a penalty shootout victory in the AFCON, like we mentioned earlier on. But Klopp actually used all three keepers. I can't forget, Addison was brought in for one game because he had just recovered from COVID. I think he wanted to have a run out, or rather Klopp wanted him to. Against Preston, it was Adrian, but the latter stages, it was all about Kelleher. And he gives me the David Seaman sort of vibes. Do you remember that amazing save David Seaman made against Sheffield United, where he just sort of clawed it away? If you rewatch it, the moment after it's made and the ball's cleared, he's walking like it was nothing. He's just so calm. Some keepers like Buffon will scream and shout after every save. Kelleher reminds me of David Seaman, the way his body language is, the way he's so calm. Do you think Liverpool will struggle to hold on to him in the future, given that Addison just signed a new contract as well? Well, not too long ago.
I mean, good question. I agree with you on his calmness, his presence. As James pointed out, in the penalty shootout, it was noticeable to me that Kepa was clearly quite wound up. He sort of saw it. This was his moment. And he was doing a lot of gamesmanship. He had a chat with every single Liverpool taker. He had to be ordered back to the line almost every time. It was very theatrical. So whatever work Liverpool are doing with the neurosciences is clearly working in terms of just, learning how to ignore someone. Kelleher just didn't do any of that. And I just thought, okay, he didn't get anywhere near. Well, he got near a couple, but the penalties were all really good. But I just thought through the game, he was just fantastic. There was a really late save. There were so many good saves by both keepers, but there was a really good one right in the last couple of minutes. That really quick reaction save from a Lukaku near post sort of flick. I thought that was fantastic. Any other game, you'd be sort of lauding that moment. But just really good keeper. Whether they can keep him or not, I don't know. But all these great teams now, need backup. They need two great players at every position, and they've got two. Liverpool have arguably got three. No keeper is going to be content sitting on the bench. But I think the other thing about these big teams is, they're going to play 50, 55, 60 games a season. So that does, I think, give you some rotation opportunities. I can see him hanging around for a bit. Will he be there in his late 20s, watching Alisson or whoever else is play 80% of the games? No, I suspect not. But I don't see him going anytime soon, because I think, he's learning so much. Being at a club like Liverpool looks like a lot of fun to me. I think they're probably, he'll be there for a few years yet.
Okay.